we return to the subject of the Great War, which is coming. We spoke on Turkey and the Great War and the implications of continued Turkish membership in NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, how this affects preparations for the Great War. We spoke of Pakistan and the Great War, a series of 3 videos. And what should Pakistan do to prepare for the Great War? But we did not spell out in detail. We only gave you the wide contours, but the details we kept it private. That information we can share with you privately, not publicly. And then we gave another lecture on Russia and the Great War. And it would surprise our Russian-speaking audience in Russia and elsewhere how much there is in the Quran, which is linked with Russia, not the name Russia, but of course with the Orthodox Christian world, which is led by Russia. And that video was meant to alert the Orthodox Christian world of what does the Quran have to say to you as you prepare for the Great War. And now we end with the last video on Iran and the Great War. And our first observation is that Iran is so fortunate, oh yes, so fortunate. Our Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, had a companion who was Iranian, and his name was Salman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he is known as Salman Farsi, or Farisi, because he belonged to the Iranian nation, and or to the Iranian people rather than nation. And the Prophet ﷺ one day, he remarked about Salman. He said about his people, he said that if wisdom were located up there in the stars, his people will reach up to the stars to locate wisdom. And so this is a great compliment. This is a great, great compliment that Nabi Muhammad ﷺ gave to the Iranian people, the Farsi-speaking people, their wisdom. And this is today manifested in the kind and the quality of the caliber of leadership that Iran has in the person of what is known as the Rahbar, or the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. The 2 great leaders, political leaders in the world today, the two who stand head and shoulders above all the rest of mankind, are the leaders of Russia, post-Soviet Russia, the President Vladimir Putin, and his foreign minister, Sergei, and the leader of Iran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. This is a man of great wisdom, a mature political thinker, a religious thinker, and a man of wisdom. And so Iran approaches the Great War with a wise leader. And that is a plus. That is something that Iran will benefit from. Iran, as a consequence, already has a very sensible and intelligent foreign policy. It is one in which it is clear, the profile of Iran is as clear and plain as daylight, that it stands in resolute opposition to the oppressors of the world, led by Washington. One could only wish that other parts of the world of Islam could have the insight, the foresight, the clarity of vision that Iran has, to recognize the Western world to be an oppressor and Washington to be the leader of the oppressors. And it was the founder of the modern state, the revolution in Iran, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who pointed his finger with much less courage, pointed his finger to Washington and declared, this is Shaitanul Kabir, the great Satan. And he was absolutely correct. But the others don't have the kind of courage and integrity that Ayatollah Khomeini had. And so Iran has a profile that is plain and clear as daylight. Iran is not sitting on any fence. And not only does Iran have this profile of resistance to the oppressor, but Iran for a long time now has recognized Russia as a friend and has established progressively a close and abiding relationship with Russia. And so Iran is now well placed to prepare for the Great War. One wishes that Pakistan could have been similarly well placed in preparing for the Great War. The Great War, the Great War is obviously a war in which NATO and its satraps would be waging war on Russia and China because of their obsession of ruling the world, and those who stand in their way, who will not bend their knees in subjection to the Western rulership over the world, they wage war on them. And that's why they are lusting to wage war on Russia and China. Because China is proud as a civilization, and China will not bend its knee to them. But the schoolboys can't understand that, so what can I do for them? And Russia is a proud civilization now. Russia is Orthodox Christian. Russia is no longer communist and Soviet. Russia is now returning to her Orthodox Christian heart, her spiritual heart. And that spiritual heart, that Christian heart of Russia is such that it will never bend its knee to that bogus Christianity that is there in the West. And so Iran must be complimented for having the wisdom of building a strategic friendship and alliance with Russia. Iran has demonstrated even greater integrity. In the recent war, it was engineered by satanic forces who armed Azerbaijan, not the people, the government of Azerbaijan. Satanic forces. That's right, with a capital S. Satanic forces who armed for many years the government of Azerbaijan. I am not speaking ill of the people. I love the people of Azerbaijan, but their government is a different thing. And these satanic forces led by, you know who, Israel. That's right, Israel. Armed Azerbaijan, provided the drones that they need to wage war in the modern age. And when Azerbaijan launched the war on Armenia and then lied, monstrously so, they lied and said, no, we didn't start the war, they started the war. What did Iran do? Although the people of Azerbaijan are Shia, and Iran is Shia, Iran had the integrity to stand by the side of Armenia in that war. So again and again you're seeing the correct foreign policy on the part of Iran, consistently correct. And so Iran has won the love and affection of the Orthodox Christian world. I remember my next door neighbor, Venezuela, and Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, with much less courage, stood up to resist the Yankee oppressor. And he paid the price for it, as the president of Tanzania paid the price. And when he died, Hugo Chavez died, the only leader from the world of Islam who was there for that funeral of Hugo Chavez, a giant, a hero of a man, who stood up to resist the oppressor. And when the Palestinians, when Gaza was being destroyed, it was Hugo Chavez who expelled the Israeli ambassador. And when Hugo Chavez died, only Iran sent her president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, to attend the funeral of Hugo Chavez. Nobody else cared for Hugo Chavez except Iran. And when Mahmoud Ahmadinejad went to the funeral, the old woman, the mother of Hugo Chavez, came to him. And she was crying and she reached out to him. And guess what he did? Guess what Mahmoud Ahmadinejad did? If he listens to this video, I think he will be very happy to hear. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad put his arms around the old woman and hugged her in public. This is the wisdom of the Iranian leadership. When you have men like Sayyid Ali Khamenei, and you have men like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, then a country has great leaders. And so Iran is preparing with great wisdom for the Great War, consistently in its foreign policy, supporting Armenia against an Azerbaijan that was Shia, but which was the aggressor. And so now we turn to how Iran is now preparing for the Great War. Iran has Afghanistan and Pakistan as neighbors on one side, but it has Turkey as a neighbor on the other side. And Turkey is a member state of NATO. And so we send a message of warning to the Iranian leadership, if it is necessary, because they're already so skilled as diplomats and so wise, the wisdom that the Prophet spoke about. They don't even need my advice. But both Pakistan and Iran are in danger in consequence of Turkey's continued membership in NATO, because NATO is going to be waging war on Russia, and Russia will be victorious in that war, because Allah promised room. Allah promised room, بِنَصْرِ اللَّهِ يَنْصُرُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ, that Allah will help Rome, and Rome is Constantinople. Surah Al-Rum of the Quran, Rome is Constantinople. Yes, of course, Rome was broken into two, and one part went to the west, and that's the Santa Claus Christianity you have. But that is no longer Rome. It is that part which stayed in Constantinople, that is Rome. The one that went to the west, Allah cursed it. He said, Kunu kidaratan khasi'in, be apes, despise.